I'll be with you in 5. I'm just going to get my partner to turn the audio down in the background so we can get into our super chats. Back again. Okay, into the disclaimers before we start our super chats. Thank you for joining us. I have added different time slots, especially this week moving in. Now, the disclaimer. Number one, first in best dressed. Especially, we do have a Wednesday super chat coming up because I won't be live on the Sunday due to a commitment I have. So it's first in best dressed. And it's one question per super chat. Separately, I give no legal advice, professional, financial, psychological, for such seek a professional, etc., etc. Okay, I don't look fantastic. I think we all have been in the thick of it, and I literally I want to check the astrology because we'll have a quick look on AstroSeek before we jump into the super chats. Yeah, that pending moon. I knew it. Especially one thing we can find is it's probably a good time to be careful of what you consume. I'm on the protein shake. I'm going through a bit of a detox. Carefully used by dates, things to that degree. It is making some interesting aspects. I did say moving into this moon, it could act a little bit like a surprise. So your waters are going to run deep. Your emotions are going to be pretty high. You can have equal opportunities to go into the abyss of beauty and depth and the abyss of despair. So, it's a catch-22 really with this transit, but it is all to do with those deep, murky waters. Especially being in the house of Scorpio. Now, it is wrapping up a karmic cycle, and we can find over the next 6 to 12 months, because the nodes did shift and it was relating to the previous nodal energy of those subjects can be coming up again to be readdressed. So depending on where it hits for you, that can be really testing, so to speak. Let's have a read of some of the community posts. What have we seen? I always look good. I've chucked it up in a ponytail. I am doing a hair mask today, so I haven't had time to do anything. No makeup, nothing, I've been prepping in the background for the wedding, so it's been pretty hectic. What else? What else have we got? Hi, Stella. How are you? Yes, I saw your PayPal. Thank you. Very generous. So how are we all transitioning? It's been up and down like a yo-yo, I would say. Emotions can be like 1 minute you can feel really good, the next minute you can be going off your food. You also can be very needy during this transit because Scorpio, and I know this best because I have some heavy Scorpio placements. You can get to a space where you are feeling needy. Where you are feeling that you want to jump in the abyss of the emotion. And so Scorpio feels things very deeply. They're also going to be very intuitive. So your intuition is going to be quite good with that circumstance. So, 1 minute it can feel as though it's not just the word needy, obsessive. It's almost like, why are you so obsessed with me? It's obsessive. So addictive tendencies can come up. We can fall into old patterns, where because we are not addressing an emotion, we are maybe using pacifiers to deal with those stress levels. We also could be a bit more secretive. Definitely, I do feel in the collective there could be some tough aspects because of oppositions, etc. But there could be some like revelation, something that was hidden is found. So you might be looking for something and you find something else that you've been looking for a while. I am. Yeah, it'll be thirst. Because at the moment we have Uranus and Taurus. We just had the previous eclipse in Taurus. So thirst was coming up for me about 2 weeks ago. And I mean, I am not a big water drinker, and that's one of my downfalls, but I have implemented that back into mine, really forcing myself to keep the hydration up. It's not to say I don't hydrate, it's just I think from being in Europe, the water's so sweet, and then coming back to a Western culture where, the water's very filtered, it's got that kind of funky flavour. So, sparkling waters and things like that, I prefer. My internet is bad. It could be, look, internet everywhere has been bad. There's been a lot of technical issues that people have been experiencing. I really do need to sit down and take a look at the astrology further. I don't believe it's because of Mercury retrograde next month, although we do tend to find transits can play out ahead of time. I think it's very much to do with Pluto moving towards Aquarius, which is very Uranian in nature. That does impact, and because the moon is in Scorpio, it's impacting technology at the moment. So we'll get straight into the super chats before we have any more glitches happening. And we have Marie. Do we have Marie in the house? Yeah, so what would I say? Clear your homes. Good time to get rid of clutter, to get to the root cause of things. Maybe eating foods that are gentle on the stomach. Again, this is not medical advice. This is a tool maybe you could use. Always follow your professional. Crystals. Smoky quartz can aid you at this time. Citrine also for detoxification. And psychic attacks are possible. But if you find that you're going from, being passive to being angry, really balancing the sacral chakra. Motivation and energy is going to pick up. And you can find that the foods that you're actually directly attracted to is going to be more spicy food. So it might be curries, it might be international cuisine, and that's because of the Sagittarius placement. So every time I go past a curry house at the moment, it's like, red Thai curry, maybe tikka masala. It's like you're wanting some sense of flavor and spice. So you might go from feeling like you want something, and then it just, it's really not hitting the taste buds. We are, and look, always, unfortunately for me too. And I'm trying not to let it really interfere with my psyche, is that generally 2 weeks after an eclipse, we can have funky weather. Scorpio also can be volcanic activity, underground plumbing. We can have, it can be, anything underground. Yes. You had Indian last night. Yeah, there you go. See, so it's you're going to go for those spicy things. You're going to be very creative as well if you can tap into it. So it is a good time. Can you pull cards for me and my twin? I feel good overall despite no contact at the moment. Okay, love, let's have a look. Things are picking up. Emotionally and energetically, I would say, and I always said this, I said from the 10th, we can see some shifts and movement within careers. We also can see shifts to do with, I would say, both parties. Now, this can be masculine's and feminine's energy. You may become more adventurous. You might be looking for something to, seismic activity. I'm not surprised because underground energy. You could be getting to a space where, maybe if on the work front, if it had been slow, or even joining gyms, all of a sudden having a revelation, I need to hit the gym. I need to do something. I want to get myself fit. I did say a lot of these New Year's resolutions would come through well and truly before the end of the year and before January. So don't be surprised if a lot of you are going through that at the moment. Okay, so there's a lot of mind matters going on here. Marie. It's mentally, and I'm from your side of the fence. I don't actually get that you're up in your head and you're like, pixelating or anything to that degree. But I do think that person is. I do think there's thoughts, and I do think you're working on those patterns, especially when it does come to any attachment or codependency. It feels as though, especially from the headspace, you're coming up as the Eight of Swords in the joint connection. I feel this can be you trying to get out of your head and trying to go with the flow with the circumstance. I do think you're handling it quite well, even if you're not giving yourself the credit. But there can be some things that you're clearing out. There can be some things you're mulling over at the moment, and you don't quite have a solution for it. But I do think overall you're handling it. If it does come up in you, what I would recommend is, because it is a joint connection and it can be quite psychic. And one thing I might mention later is something, it's to do with the documentary Giggle mentioned. I think Erica mentioned it as well. Spiritually at the moment, because we have Saturn in Pisces, we can, and I've said this from the beginning of the year, and I saw it coming astrologically, we always have issues with religion in astrology when we have Pisces placements, especially because Saturn moves in there, and there's always a cusp energy where we will go to really reviewing those things, and it can reduce it down, so we're not as attracted to maybe tarot readings and spirituality, or terms that we've heard in the collective. So there can be taboos associated with that, and we can also emotionally feel these things where we don't believe in certain things. But I've said this for years, and I went through this experience myself back in, I would say, 2018, and I call it the energy of losing your religion. And going into the questioning mind of logic and rational and maturity, and being really critical on yourself. It's very common. Both exist. People that believe in Gaia and God, do they have physical evidence? No, but it's the spiritual base. There's an energy, and there's a clearing of the ego. So both polarities physically are existing. From a codependent point of view, it's always very important to look at life and say, okay, was there a connection here? Is there something going on there? Do we believe in fate, and do we believe in the fact that if something is destined, it's going to come to us? And always taking accountability and go, okay, on my side of the fence, could it be addictive tendencies? Could it be control? Could it be, you get what I'm saying? We're not going to go down the rabbit hole. So, taking accountability, but I think you're really going over that. Anything that does come into our profile, that can be a video, a documentary. It's always, if it does trigger us, what we do have to do is say, okay, let me sit with this for a bit. Let me actually sit with this. Is this triggering me because that was already in my subconscious? Or is it something of a different perspective to mainly view? So spiritually, I do see, it's like, in the past, you could have been saying to yourself, did I give enough to this? There also could be some give and take energy, and especially in a transactional field, because when we do go through our chakras, we can have blockages. And from a manifestation point of view, when you're fatigued, what happens? You can't do as much. When you have inner child, we're unable to be playful and loving. So those do directly affect our 3D world. So a transit can impact that, and then we can get to a space where we do move into alignment. We're able to give more. So you could have been thinking, did I give too much? The person didn't give me enough. How can I move into balance? This is moving to the past position, which is a positive thing. But it can show up in our life in a 3D sense, where our income is directly impacted because the chakra becomes imbalanced, and like attracts like, and then it comes up in our 3D. I feel that also is coming to a space. I do feel this person is showing up as a king. It's a positive thing in the heart space. You do know this person can ascend and can actually transform. And I do see this person has evolved. And the other reference point that they're making is that time has gone on. So energetically and spiritually, what I do see for this person is that they have, what would the word be? They have matured. And you could be thinking to yourself, okay, has this person actually matured? Has this person transformed? What has the deal been with this circumstance? So, you spiritually are unsure with it. You feel they have. You also look in your 3D life and you feel it has. But you also do feel that you're wanting more. So the flighty energy is showing up on the read. More to do with you trying to work out some situations. I don't feel you're reacting to it. I do feel this person can be going through some physical changes. This can be with their working environment, with their life. They may have had a person in their life before that really used them and took advantage of them. And so they have become theoretically very wary. But this person is thinking about you, and they do think of you as someone that wouldn't do that to them. Does that make sense? So they don't look at you in a poor light. They do look at you in a positive light. I think the advice here would be is to keep you cool, to not personalize things, because there is a shift happening, and I do feel communication will be coming in. But at the moment, you can be thinking, gosh, do I think before I speak? And I think, if you can sit with the emotion, I would say over the next 3 days, you'll be better for it, and you would have passed a test spiritually. Does that make sense? But this person here has in the past been used. You're also equally looking at that circumstance that has happened to you before. So you're being very cautious about how you're giving your energy and what you're going to do. But I do directly see this circumstance with this individual. It's like 2 dares in the wood coming out, but being cautious about how much each is giving. Does that make sense? But definitely they are seeing you in a positive light. They do know that you're not like the other people that they've been with. And they are very, what would the word be? They're very appreciative that you are not like that. So they don't want you to think that that's what it is. They also don't want you to get up in your head because it's all good in the hood. That's what they're saying. But just give them a moment. I feel they're going through a transition. This can be to do with getting some sense of a foundation rectified. And then I do see communication is on its way. I hope that helps. But yeah. Okay, who do we have next? We have Giggle. This candle, I swear. I've got it's light shea peony. I love peonies. Peonies are one of my favorite flowers. I think I like lilies, peonies. Giggle. Oh, you've got a card come out already. Oh, most welcome, Marie. Have a safe transit. I'll be doing the joint connection later. I might come live for it. We'll see. It'll be later in the day, probably my evening, because I have a lot of things to clear. But I'll give you guys a heads up. Whoever's in the members, you'll probably hear first, and then I'll go live. Okay. Okay. So the first card that you've got coming out is, you're like. Number one is you do feel that this person is very you could be getting some anger coming up. Thanks, Sway. Giggle, you could be having some anger coming up. But I also do feel this is to do with the person in question. I do feel that you're actually looking at that person and thinking that they need to own their power, but you also find that they're giving too much energy to one area of their life, and it feels deeply frustrating. Yeah, you're trying to ride that wave, but that wave has been, quite heavy. It is causing intensity because, lack of information can take us down the rabbit hole of feeling something is up in the hood. And we have a karmic card to the past, and I feel this has been something lingering in your mind, again, due to lack of information. Not that it is so, but due to lack of information. This is what how you are viewing the situation. You do feel that if that was so, that it would not be good in the hood. I'm getting like tummy situations going on as well. This can be anxiousness. Yeah, it's saying like you're looking at it like this situation's odd. It's funky. I'm going to pull a few cards for them. This person can be a real closed book. It can be very, what would the word be? Oh, confusing would be an understatement, but it can be very confusing. This person has some situation to do with home going on and their emotions. Their emotions can be very confusing for you. It's very deep. They're also making reference to the moon. I do feel this moon in Scorpio because we have an 8 here on their moon card. And it can be the 8th house. This is they do feel things deep. Sometimes they can personalize things. Sometimes they can retract back in. But I do feel their energy is heightened and thinking about you during this moon phase. They have a very poor opinion of themselves. This person's struggling with the circumstance. Let's have a look. What's going on here? Okay. They can take things to heart. But that's about them, not you. They know that what is going on is wrong. They feel that they need to do something right here. They know that you're getting up in your head about this. This is concerning them. They're having a lot of thoughts. It's almost like they're having a revelation of all the things they've done to you. If that happened to them, how would that feel? Yeah, this is it's almost like they're seeing a behavior pattern here in them. They do know that you're the innocent one in this circumstance. They do want to live with you. They do feel that when they do come home, they're going to make contact. They also don't want to discuss this heavy situation over the phone. They do look at you as more than a friend. Yeah. They do have a gift for you. Yeah, they want to give it to you. They don't want to. They're saying they don't want to do this over the phone. They have been overburdened. They have had a lot on their plate. They do know that they need to bring something to a head. But they're also referencing the fact that they physically don't want to do this over the phone because they don't feel it's mature. And they also want to be able to be there to discuss it, to get in, to be able to answer questions, to be able to reassure you. But they do directly feel they need to do that in person. You, on the other hand, there's a dark energy here, and I do think it's because of lack of information. I do feel emotionally you are thinking there is an interference of some degree. Yeah, the longer it goes, the reference point to your outcome card is you have a lot to say to this person. And I think they're picking up on it. They're picking up that you are upset. They're picking up that you feel cross. I would say cross would be an understatement. But we have the argument card as the outcome. So it's like there's a bit of whoop-ass happening here. Spiritually this week, this is what it's feeling. Does it have to turn out that way? Not at all. This person knows that this person feels that they do feel guilty. probably because they are guilty. But again, they're making reference to they don't want to do it over the phone. They want to be able to communicate with you face to face. Okay, but I definitely am seeing a gift. I see your energy at the moment due to the pause, due to the maybe way a situation has been handled. You're not impressed. But theirs is they want to communicate with you in person. In person. Okay. Dawn, what do we have for you, my love? Let's get your cards. The joy of the Scorpio transit. Right. Who's enjoying it? Are we enjoying the Scorpio transit? Deep waters. Twin said to me, do you want a hamburger for brekkie? And I was like, no. No, thank you. I was like, maybe some sauteed mushrooms. And what did I get? Protein shake. Protein shake. Thank you very much. So let's get the cards. What do we have for Dawn? Oh, enjoying hermit mode. I think it's the best bet at the moment. We can get moody with people. We can feel tired. Yeah. Okay. Dawn. Now, I think it depends on whether you're going to absorb the energy of the other person or the situation. The first card that you have coming up is the 10 of Wands. Now, do I think this is your energy? I think from an intellectual point of view, you could be observing the situation with that person as they have a lot on their plate. They are different. They are acting different, but it's almost internalized. It's like they're very protective. They're personalizing things. I can't people right now. You people with me, giggle. You can people. You just can't people with what would the words be? Unlike BS. Childlike, banter. We have our own to deal with. We have our own monkey to carry. So, Dawn, I'm not people. Yeah, well, I tell Twin all the time. He's like, he goes, but I do this, so why can't others? And I went, because you're not everybody. Yeah, he's interesting, that one. Okay. Dawn, the first thing I see is you're observing this situation like you are fully aware that this person has a lot. You do empathize, but if you protect your energy, what it's doing, and I actually talked to Twin because Dawn, you might come and listen to this later. I had a chat to Twin and we talked about this situation, the one that you PM'd me about in the members, and I'll talk in code so it's private. The advice I gave you, Twin completely agreed with and completely agreed on what I said was going on with that person. And that is because from a masculine point of view, when we are taking our power back and we are saying to ourselves, okay, if I have been the enabler of a situation, and that person is coming to me because they feel very comfortable. Not that we look at it that way when they're BSing at us. We're like, oh my God, they're attacking me. Why are they attacking me? And it's like, no, actually, they're not. They're venting. Okay. So when a person is coming towards us, if we change that pattern and behavior, and instead of doing what we did before, where we're kind of putting it back on them and saying, wow, that's really nice of you. Yeah, that's cool. Well done, If that person doesn't like what they're doing and they're saying, well, I have to do this and I have to do that. And you go, wow, that's really nice that you do that. And they hate what they're doing, but they just won't acknowledge it. What happens is you've taken you as the enabler away and you're just feeding them what they're projecting out to the world. So what happens? They have to go home with that and they have to sit with that and go, but it's not. And then what happens? You didn't enable, you weren't the punching bag verbally. You know, if they try to do that, what they're doing is instead of getting angry at you, instead of getting angry at the situation, they're getting angry at you. They're projecting, keeping your emotional intelligence, right? When a person is reacting to you in that fashion, that is nothing to do with you. But what you are doing is a good job, because what you are doing is making that person accountable for what they're going through. When we enable a person, they generally will prolong a situation. Okay, so it's like, you're eating hay, you're going and sitting back in the witch's cauldron, which is what I said to Twin. It's like, this person hates where they are. So much ado about nothing, whinge about it. Come and dump on you the rubbish can, and then once they're relieved, they go home to Satan. Okay, now that is just an analogy. It's like, I'm going back to a situation I friggin' hate. Now, when you stop doing that enabling and you make them have to be sitting with it and accountable, what happens is they're going to hate it quicker, because they don't have a dumping ground. They don't have a trash can. They're alone in the abyss, because when we have a conflict that we have to deal with, we have to address it. If you can look at it, my love, this way, not that you have failed, not that no matter what you do, you can't win. No, this is what this person feels. Don't own what they feel. They're going home. This fight has to happen at home. There is chemistry, there is passion. Why? Because this person comes towards you, because this person feels they can confide in you, which is the utmost of compliments. Because what is a connection? What is a marriage? It is for the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if they can't do that with a karmic individual, and they're able to do that with you, there's the answer. And it's really sad that we should have to settle. Now, is the tower coming? Yes. But it's like you're giving that person's power back for them to have the tower, for them to pull a situation down in their life. They're actually saying, don't get up in your head about doubt. This is this person's energy. You're owning it like it's about you, and it's actually not. This person is unhappy. Keep out of your head. That's what they're saying. The way you've handled it is absolutely perfect, because now what's going to happen is, they already acknowledge the fact that your energy is great, because they keep coming towards you for that one thing, which means they feel accepted. They feel understood. When you do fight, you still make up, which is, that's a true connection. If you can disagree, but still make peace, that is a true connection. If they're unable to do all those things inside a karmic relationship, it doesn't have to be a romantic one, it can be any. You are going to be the shining light, and that is something that you are teaching them to grow. And by that, they are going to become their most authentic self. And look, once they get to the Ten of Wands, it's unmanageable. A bit like the Ten of Swords. It's unmanageable. They're carrying it. If you don't want to carry it, drop the trash. Okay? So you've triggered this in them, and this situation is occurring. My advice to you is not to get up in your head. Okay? Not to overthink. But to know that the role that you're taking right now is to, A, protect yourself, but B, it's that this person is going through a tower, right? And it's their tower. So don't own their tower. Just look at all the things in your life that are great at this point in time, and know that while they're having that tower moment, you don't have to go down with the ship. You can observe it in a loving way, and know that that is a difficult situation with empathy, but still protecting yourself. Once this person becomes whole, you're going to be able to get the whole kitty. You're going to be able to have the whole thing, but they're having to really kind of work through that energy, and it's getting quite heavy for them at this Scorpio moon. Okay, my love? But they're saying, don't get up in your head. Now, who do we have next? We have Tracy. Hello, Tracy. How are you, my love? I'm as bat crazy as you are. Yeah. Well, we've got the Scorpio energy and Libra in us. We would have made the best flatmates. Giggle and I. Well, we are quite similar. I think we do balance each other out. We use comedy for therapy. yeah, it's just still having empathy and, not saying, how does this directly impact me? Well, the person's still talking to you. The person's going through it. And I know it's really hard when you care for someone, because when you're watching it, you're trying to be there for them. Especially for Geminis at the moment, you guys have 9th house, right? So you are the guru. You are, but we can't do that for a person. We also do need to be open-minded that our guru frequency and what we know is where we have grown. Okay, that's where we can advise is what we've experienced and where we've grown. But then we're going to grow again, and a lot of what we're believing is going to evolve and evolve and evolve. So it's about the levels we're at, but it's also about using that energy of your personal experiences in reacting to circumstances. So sometimes the best way is to listen. Also, when a person is projecting, if you're triggered, it means you have more work to do yourself. It's got nothing to do with you, because you'll know when a person's having a real conversation with you and when a person is just projecting because they're having a little war inside themselves. And if you own it, that can be, depending on where you are spiritually, use the intellectual maturity of awareness. And when you're looking at it, why would you get upset by it? You shouldn't need to get upset by it, because you can clearly psychologically see you're having a out-of-body experience right now and you're projecting, but this actually has nothing to do with me. Anyway, Tracy. It's like, I have had so many of those occasions. So when you wake and you have emotional intelligence, you're like, girl, we ain't fighting. I don't know who you're talking to. I don't know who fucked you up, but this shit ain't about me. And then you can have love and empathy. Yeah, then you can have empathy. And, you trust me, in saving, why are we saving them? Because somehow we have an attachment that we feel if they're not okay, we're not going to be. And if you use all that energy on that person, you could do that for yourself. What are you avoiding in your life? Collectively. So I was like, I'm enabling. I remember doing this. And I remember saying to myself, if you are so good at helping other people, what the hell have you done for yourself? Why is your life such a mess? That's what I said to myself one day. Okay, Tracy, what have we got for you? I was like, God. I was looking after 7 kids, running a business, helping twin out. And, the ball fell. And I was like, but you were able to do that. So now you can get yourself out of Dodge. If you could do that, you could do this. Yes. Okay. Okay, there's a bit of a shake up here. There's a bit of a change. I'm glad my experience and my demise is helping somebody, because that's what it's for. Why do you think I remained on YouTube? Is like my epiphanies brought me peace, because once I had these revelations, gee, I felt stupid. I was like, all these years, you've been doing that and you've believed that. And I was like, no, we're actually not really having a conversation right now. If you're healthy, it's like you're looking at a patient and you're going, I'm going to personalize this. No. Then you're not healthy. Okay, so Tracy, one thing you have coming up at the moment is there's a frequency of a change, and it might be that you need to be flexible with the circumstance. If there is a difficulty that you're moving away from and your intuition is drawing you to deal with this circumstance and to lay it to rest in a certain way. Now, this could be a change in behavior. It could be a change in job. It could be a change in attitude. I feel as though the 10 of Swords is actually moving to the past, which is good. So these 2 cards are saying you're changing, by changing your approach, you're reducing the shit, okay? You're reducing a circumstance that has been hindering you. I'm also hearing with great wisdom comes great responsibility. And people could be trying to sway your opinion in a way, But you also do, because this also could be a tactical approach you're taking. I'm changing how I deal with employees. Yeah, so they could be manipulating you. You do have the gift of the gab right now, although I don't feel you to be a big talker. I feel you are the type of person that really thinks before you speak. You have, I swear, you could be an accountant. Like, you have such an eye for detail and an energy for you absorb a lot. But you digest it and then you implement it. And I feel if there are some shady individuals, you're taking a tactical approach. I think this is going to go in your favor. Somebody could be trying to sway your opinion. I feel you're very aware of this. There can be some manipulators at hand. I feel guard yourself, be protective. Oh, thanks, Giggle. Yeah, you're being very protective, but you do have the Jupiter energy here. There are opportunities to go up the ladder. I think you're playing your cards right. You also, if you feel it's a crappy situation, they're also saying sit with it over the next few days. Look, November is a great month to get real. Okay. So as life becomes heavy, like I said, a lot of us are going to be making New Year's resolutions. The reason is because we have had, for a majority of the year, it has felt spiritually, with all our retrogrades from May, that we have been reworking, reevaluating, internalizing things, frustration, playing circus. And then as we had Venus and Mercury retrograde, even now as it's direct, it's these solid decisions we're having to make, and it's post-direct that we're making these decisions. So in your Jupiter energy, I see you could have some travel coming up. I also do see this could be upskilling, but I don't know why I'm getting. You're pausing. You know you can handle this circumstance, but you could be looking outside the box. Don't outrule openness to new chapters wherever they may be, my love, because I feel you will be making a major decision. And I feel these are really good things that we're going to be making decisions on, but we're going to be committing to them and going easy on ourselves and saying, look, Rome wasn't built in a day, but one foot in that direction that I feel is destined for me is 1 foot further. Does that make sense? So it's like a small step for mankind, sort of thing. That's how it's coming through. But I feel if you can, I don't want you to second guess yourself. I want you to trust your intuition. If you have come to a revelation inside of yourself that something isn't fitting and you want to make a change, do that with open arms. Do that with excitement. I do think you're going to do it with intellect because you're a very rational person when it comes to life. But I think you're going to keep your cards very close to your chest. Yeah, if you feel this environment is no-go, you're going to piss some people off. I'm just going to say, you're probably pissing some people off. But if you feel these individuals aren't evolving, aren't changing, I don't know why I get people leaving, transitions change. If you just, even if you've implemented changes, if you see no outcome, don't feel scared to go, you know what, I'm going to seek elsewhere. Because I feel your skills are going to take you the mile. I do see that you are going to be really considering what you want, regardless of what anyone thinks. I also feel doors are opening for you, and they're going to be really big doors. Don't promise anyone anything. They may think you're promising, but I do feel you have an exit strategy here, okay? So you're mulling over this at the moment. This doesn't feel like, I don't know what to do. No, I think you're keeping your options open. I think you're going to gauge it. If the changes don't happen, you're doing you. Good on you. Yeah, well, that's about them, isn't it? You're angry. I didn't intentionally attempt to make you angry. I do have my own life. I do have my own mind. I do have my own needs. I owe you work. I don't owe you my soul. Okay. Let's take a look at Twin Flame LP. How are you, my love? Thanks, Giggle. We're plowing through these today. I hope some of you that have remained in the house have found some sense of advice, maybe that you can, apply to yours. Tell us what that is, especially if anyone comes and, joins these. Most welcome, Tracy. It looks good, Dale. You've got it. Trust yourself. You've got it. Hello. Not bad. Thanks. Oh, good. I'm happy. Happy to hear. If we're dealing with this transit, impressive. What would you like to know? Let's pull the cards. Whoa, I got jumpers. Oh. Yeah, they're not. But what does it show us? Facing our fears. I'm definitely doing that with a lot of areas of my life at the moment. Also, not tuning into the negative, trying not to, because it does manifest. DM has gone quiet. What's going on with him? I would not be surprised if DMs have gone quiet at the moment. It's only temporary. Scorpio runs steep. Saturn moving direct. They are going to go quiet based on that. It is only temporary. Jupiter in the house. Once we move to December, it's all on like Donkey Kong. That's not to say that these situations at the moment aren't going to be bringing about that Jupiter energy. Monthly calendar. Now, we have Mars entering Sagittarius. That is occurring on the 24th of November. We can have some movement there. We have had Saturn move shadow direct the 4th of November. So it's still in its shadow energy. And all of us are feeling the crunch and the pinch of responsibility. We still do have Uranus and Taurus retrograde and Neptune. And those two ones there are causing a little bit of conflict. The other is once Chiron goes direct, a lot of us are going to have more energy. So the quietness, with the transits, Mars moving into Sagittarius for the masculines is to do with being more open, connecting with their spiritual energy, taking direct assertive action. So until about then, it's going to be a little bit slow. But once it does move, we're going to find it's going to be better. Now, these 2 moons this month, I would warn, they can bring about codependency. Scorpio moon. Yeah, it's personal. So it's maybe their status, maybe their identity. In karmic relationships, we can move out of them. We can move into deep commitments. There can be subjects to do with sexuality and money and power hungry. You're like, what's going on? It feels like it's funny because this card is almost like there is a block, and I feel the block is more not knowing what is going on the other side, like closed in, retreating in. So this is what I'm getting from the Ace of Coins. It's almost like something's hidden from you. And do I feel it's causing paranoia? No, not really. I just feel that you have this sense that this person's kind of gone into hermit mode. It's very quiet. You get how they behave. You've known them for a while. You also, you don't want to be the fool, if that makes sense. You don't want to look at the past and go, okay, the same's repeating. Not necessarily. You're trying to react to the circumstance differently. But the question that you have at the moment is your heart sense. Okay, now, if you are going into we do this for the heart chakra. We want to protect it, right? Scorpio is going to bring about a need to protect. It's going to go from obsessive to protective to closed off. So just be aware of that while we're moving through this. You could be really questioning your heart at the moment. Now, do I feel that you love this person? 100% I do. Could you be retracting it in to protect it? Yes, you could be. These changes, though, are showing you to open your heart, to be open, that you will never do anything that is going to risk you. Yeah, there is a transformation happening in the heart space. This person feels very run down. This person has a lot of changes also happening in their life. They do want reunion. They're asking you not to close your heart off. This card has come up. The reunion card has come up in the moving forward. Closer than you think. I do think they're going through a transition. I do think, how do I explain it? You are thinking about the future. Okay, so this could be picturing, okay, what will reconciliation look like? Is it possible? How do I feel about my heart? Can I trust this person? Are they going to hurt it again? Is there going to be movement? Like, am I making a mistake? Do you have two paths in mind? Because the kind of frequency I've got at the moment is that there's two paths. Do you have a different path that you were considering in your life? Sometimes it can just be a spiritual crossroad because we're absolutely frustrated with stagnation, and we're like, maybe I should just move forward. Sometimes it can be that. Sometimes it can be a given person. But it appears to be that there is a question mark here, but it's not happening on their side. It's actually happening on your side. I hate it when you make a protein shake and the powder doesn't merge. And I should just get the bar mix out. But when you're rushed, what does a girl do? Ice cubes I can deal with. Clumpy protein powder? No. Clumpy protein powder. It would be my career path, but I feel invested in him. Okay. Are you protecting your heart? Now, you'll be surprised how this energy comes up in a read. And sometimes we can't honor it inside ourselves because we're trying not to acknowledge maybe a frequency we've had for 2.5. And it can be a blockage that's coming up. I would also say with the energy, with spiritual connections, and even, if you're not a twin, I have seen so many times how our thoughts do impact our physical reality. And we can actually, we are always manifesting. Have you ever noticed that you say to yourself, you're having a bad day and it just shows up? Have you noticed when you've been so detached and you're like, look, good things are going to come to me. And then you have all these good luck things coming. And when you move into that, it amplifies and it continues on for that day. Have you ever noticed if you thought somebody was going to cheat on you, they cheat on you? It's because what we feed is what we get. And so our minds are very powerful things. And our bodies, through the pain body experience, can directly attract it. So how it can show up is because we're protective. We could be psychologically saying to ourselves, I think this is a risky situation. I think because there hasn't been any movement. I think because I haven't had a lot of luck with this person. I think that what I should do is maybe move forward with my life. Now, I'm picking this as an energy of a human being. This could be to do with you thinking if they are in a karmic relationship and if they're going to leave that person, that will more link to you of what you were in a previous situation. So what do I mean by that? Sometimes through our prejudice of our own personal experiences, we can project that onto another person. And so our belief system is co-creating that new reality. So if you had been in a relationship and you were trying to get out of the circumstance, but you thought, it's not too bad, but I'm not really deeply in love with it, you may have remained. And then when you are looking at their situation, you project the same circumstance and believe, well, it took so long for you as I was going to take so long for them. You do have the reunion card here. Can you, and I do remember talking to a big YouTuber, I won't mention the person's name because I keep everything very private. And the belief system that was coming through was that she could only have a career or she could have love. And the thing is, you can have both. Sometimes we think intellectually, if I am moving across the other side of the country, does that mean that there will be no hope for this relationship? Not at all, because love will always find a way. It's our ego that gets involved that blocks that situation. So we are never meant to not grow. We are never meant to not evolve. But we fear that if we do, that it may mean we are not positioned on the map correctly for that person. Universe is saying you can have it both, doll. Okay. But they are saying that you're protecting your heart at the moment. You could be personalizing the circumstance. You could be feeling that this person is rejecting you when they actually do have something quite big that they're transitioning through their life. Again, the Scorpio moon can be bringing this energy up. You do. It does look like you have a lot on your plate. And this could be going through an evolution. This can be various areas of your life that are going through an evolution. And because of that, it is causing a bit of anxiety. Yeah, you don't want anyone to use you. It's permission based, honestly. We can say no. Do you know what the transition is? It feels money related. Could it be a karmic situation? It could be, but I feel it's already over. So in a karmic scenario ship, we're always closing doors. So how do I explain it? Sometimes a person has left a relationship and it's a divorce. It could be a situation to do with kids, but it feels old, whatever it is that they're dealing with. It feels like an old circumstance. I am hearing the term family. So I think there is a bit of a conundrum around a family related dynamic and a lump sum amount of money. As to the frequency they feel with you, I think allow that person to come towards you. I feel move out of the masculine energy and move into the feminine energy. And I think you'll get the balance there. That's what's coming through here. But you could be protecting your heart. And, don't be scared to just, if there is conflict in life, don't be scared to have the conflict. It doesn't mean it's going to break it. And if it breaks that easy, his brother is always causing problems. Yeah, again, it's nothing this person isn't able to handle. I also feel this person is creating healthy boundaries, but it's permission based. So also look at that inside your life and see where maybe you haven't been enabling certain individuals or feeling like you need to always give everyone a hand, but not yourself. That then can balance the energy on their side of the fence and yours, and it's passing a karmic test and you're evolving then. But I definitely see there's a bit of protection here. You are always moving forward, so don't get up in your head saying, hey, I'm not moving forward, I'm wasting my energy. It's your choice. That's your power. It's your choice of what you invest in. So don't feel guilty about choosing your path. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, we do, because we evolve. We grow tired of things. So just, it's not trusting the process. It's allow growth to happen. But there is reunion here, okay? This person is ticking the boxes to reach that, okay? Yeah. Okay, we have KM. Let's see what's coming up for you, my love. How you been? Are you looking after yourself? Thanks, Giggle. So how have we all been transitioning? Okay. Oh, have you got a bugbear around you at the moment? Who's been bothering you? Travel or work? Okay, the first thing I see is there's a person here. This can either be There's somebody bothering you here. It's like you're wanting. It's funny because I feel travel and work actually coincides with future. I also feel there is a person maybe you're trying to get away from. This person can be a little bit controlling and overbearing. What else are they showing me? It feels like a karmic. Okay, this feels like a karmic energy. Could you be trying to move away from a karmic cycle? You could be. But whoever this person is, you do have a lot on your plate. You also feel, it does feel quite overbearing. It's probably pushing you out of an old cycle and into a new one. It's like asking you to let it go and to leave it in the past, to leave this situation in the past, because the chapter's over, but the energy is remaining and it is permission based. So if it's really irritating, like just move away from it. May resign. It feels like there's an outgrown energy. It's causing conflict. They're also making reference to behind. Is it behind on work? Is it behind on time? It just feels behind and it's getting overwhelming. People are getting irritable. And this is on your mind quite a bit. So this feels quite heavy. You also don't want to be without, so it's kind of, it is bugging you. It's also saying if you feel the pressure, I would just, if you can, work down the list of what you need to get done. What I'm seeing is two parts. I'm seeing you, I'm just going to be brutally honest. I see you looking at this job, maybe feeling as though you dropped the ball at a point, and it could have been due to a circumstance, but now, look, it just could be the dynamic and things are getting, it's almost like maybe your list of work was like that and now it's like that. And you're like, look, I just can't do that. This is just this is getting ridiculous. However, it's playing out. I do see you looking at an exit strategy, but you're also well aware that it could hit you again in the pocket. That's how it's coming through to me. So you're like, okay, I need to be rational to do with this. Is this going to impact me? Is there a healthier way I can address this? Could I go under the radar for a little bit and just tick the box and go down the queue of what I need to do? Maybe get my resumes ready, maybe get things in order. Universe is saying don't run. Now, whatever that means, but I think it's like skipping an area. They're saying don't skip an area, see something through to the end, then sit with it, I would say between November and December and January. And I feel you're taking steps to change various areas of your life, but they're saying there needs to be a structured way of doing it. And look, I'm telling you, a lot of people are going to have issues with hierarchy. Why? Is because we do at the moment have transits coming up between November and December, especially because we're going to have Mercury going retrograde. And it's almost like there's going to be reconfigurations in employment and hierarchy. So managers, if they're being shady, it's going to come to light and, it's going to be under the microscope. But I do see movement here. I do see a holiday. However, I do see you wanting to get your ducks in a row before you are doing that. Does that make sense? It's like you're trying to wrap something up tidy in a bow so that you can have a bit of spiritual freedom. I do see an energy here. This could be a romantic partner coming. You do have good energy, but I feel when you're wrapping all these things up, it's going to make so much sense to you later, the reason why everything came at you at once. And it was so that you were clearing a lot of old cycles out, clearing like old cycles out so that your foundation and your footing was open to a connection. Does that make sense? It's almost like all the hard yards are going to be done first. And then it's almost like you're feeling grounded, you're feeling resolved. You're like, right, this is where my life's going. And that's when kind of everything else is going to start to flow. But it does feel a little bit full on at the moment, but you're going to be grateful for it after. You're going to realize why it all had to happen in such a condensed space. You are going to get the break you need. And I do think things will go in your favor, providing you use logic to protect yourself. I do think you're going to be quite good. Okay? If you do need to keep your cards close to your chest till you make the decision, tactical approach. Cross your T's and dot your I's for that clean slate. I hope that makes sense. Stella, last but not least. So I will have to go onto my website and block out Wednesday so nobody books that day, because that will be the last super chat until after. Let me check the date. Most welcome, sweet. I hope it helps. Okay, so we won't be having a super chat on the 19th, Green's Mention Time, Western Australia. We will be having it on the 15th, so I need to block that date out. Nobody book on that day. I'll have to reschedule you. The next super chat will come on the 26th of November, okay? Back to normal. Am I going to be giving freebies away? Yes, towards December, okay? I'll come live. I'll have a random freebie, and I will be, so if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and I'll be giving freebies away. Stella. And I'll tell you, December, I'll be glamming up the channel. Anything that's coming in and advice for you. How you doing, Stella? You and me with the Scorpio energy, eh? You'll be so surprised. Stella and I do have very similar aspects in our chart. And it's like, girl. We do have very similar aspects. We've both got that Scorpio energy there, don't we, girl? I miss you, Stella. Ooh, girl, you got the devil card. And you know what? I really don't feel bad about it. I don't get a bad vibe. I get the sexual energy. Venus and Scorpio. Yeah, well, that's about it. You're a devil in disguise. We do. Venus and Scorpio. Is your North Node in Scorpio as well? I have it scheduled for the 25th. Yeah, I'll have to change it. I'm a shithead. I'll be changing it today. I'll go back in there. See, when you're rushing, when do I have super chat? I have the 15th, and I think the members is then. Okay, 1 minute. So I'll have to look at it after. I'm not going into my bimbo. No, Leo. You had Scorpio somewhere else though, didn't you? North Node and Leo. You were meant to be a star, Stella. You were meant to shine bright like a diamond. Yeah. Leo also can be a parent. A playful one. I do have the members, so we're going to have to check. So yeah, if the next one's the members, if I don't have another one after, you can join the members for the in the dark. But I'll double check and I'll put a community post up. My TF has Venus and Scorpio. No wonder you're attracted to them. Yeah, members. I'll check. Yeah, we'll see, because I've pulled it forward, so it'll be the Wednesday. If you can't make it, you can still put a super chat in and ask, and you can go back and listen to it. Put your question in the video. Say, pay for the super chat. This is what I would like to know, and I'll tune into it. And when you're ready, you can jump through and you can grab your super chat. Okay, so we have the devil card, but I think it's the sexual energy. I think it's the sacral chakra energy. I do feel you're needing a bit more energy. It is gradually picking up. But this is almost like you're wanting to get your va-va-voom back. and you're looking at it going, I want to, this could be a desire all of a sudden to change your clothing and to change your look and to get it might be that you're outgrowing the style that you once had. Because we do, with the devil card, it's like, getting the allure back, wanting to have some sense of allure, but also wanting to be comfortable. You could be having some changed emotions. This could be, you deal with your emotions very well, so I don't think necessarily this is a bad thing. It's so funny. I always turn off to this side because the light's coming in. So I'm like, how can I get away from the light? So I wouldn't say you're like down in the pits of despair and all dark and gloomy. I just feel as though you're intuitive. You could be picking up things quite psychically too at this point. There is almost like you want to revisit some of that spontaneity in life. You're realizing that in love, that's what you're looking for. You do have this person in the heart chakra. So it is, you are looking at romantic connections point blank, zero in the heart chakra, but also your style of relating, your style of maybe, what the chemistry is. Is there chemistry? How do you feel to do with that area? You could be worried about a home environment. You also, I feel there's good luck around homes, although you could be worried about it, especially moving into December. You're wondering if things are going to change, and I do feel they are. You feel as though you are put on the spot and having to make a different, this could be you moving into your masculine energy, having to address something so it's wrapped up for the end of the year. I do feel TF turning up. I don't know if they've maybe booked a holiday coming your way. It still feels quite close. You in your own life with circumstances, you're plodding along. Yeah, well, you got the house energy, so it's coming along, but it could be costing you a bit of an arm and a leg at the moment. And you're like, am I going to get all this done by Christmas, New Year's? I do think you are. And I do think wealth energy is going to start increasing for you if you have a worry to do with that. I think everything is in divine order. Try and trust the process. The crazy thing I always find when I am like tidying up a home, it's always when I move. They asked when I'm going there. Well, I say that them coming to you. There is a possibility of a holiday, but I do feel seeing these individuals. I'm seeing like a group of people together, but it feels like a tight-knit group. They're also showing me a boat. I could never see myself going on a boat because I get seasick. I'm crap at that. I love it, but the in and out, yeah, I couldn't do that. That just won't work for me. I will be spending many hours leaning over deck. I don't know if this person's coming in your dreams, but it looks crazy here. It looks like they're trying to enter your dream state. This person almost wants you to, yeah, playing definitely. Yeah, we're done. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Between you and that person, there's a big draw. There's a big pull. It's like universe is trying to pull you guys together. There's chemistry though. This person is like really pushy. It's really pushy at the moment, but they're trying to enter your dream state. They've got juju for you. It's like, look at this. They're trying to conjure this up. They want to see you, and you're like, I'm just sitting over here doing my thing. But it feels as though when they're away from you, this is how they feel. So they got a lot on their plate, right? They got a lot on their plate, as above, as below. What's crossing it? Like regrets of the past, regrets of choice, big changes happening in their life. You're kind of like, how do I put it? When you're going with the flow, you get more energy from them. When you're cementing yourself into your physical reality of where you are, there's a pull that is coming. And it's because you're detaching, okay? You're detaching, but they're like, you need to come here. You need to come here. Distance does make the heart grow fonder. This person enjoys your company. This person's holding it in. I get one day this person's just going to blurt out how they're really feeling. I really do. Very close, Stella. Nothing bad here, my love. Wealth should increase. You got a bit of worries about your kids at the moment. Normal worries as parents do. But you're going to look very sassy. You got the sassy attitude. If you do need to do something, I see you gaining, like, how do I put it? It's almost like you're going to have pennies from heaven coming, and it's going to be able to tie up some things. And if you do have to own your masculine energy to get things done, I sort of see you going to be able to do it. Thanks for the super chats. Please like and share. Thank you, Giggle. Okay, so it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. It looks as though you could be getting to a stage that you're going to make a big decision. And I think that big decision is going to aid you. I will see you guys on the other side. Stay tuned. I'll try and put a community post up when we are having another live and how the schedule is, because, you know, obviously the next weekend I won't be here. You'll still have the premieres, etc. So stay tuned for the post, for all the updates of when the next live will be. You can prepay them, and then that way you won't miss out on it, and then it should go back to normal. See you soon.